Hello everyone, today we're learning about Bekannung Daf Nun Zayin. So we had at the bottom of Nun Vav the base of Machloikis, Rabba and Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef said that someone who found a lost item or a Veda, he has to take it and find the owner. So Rav Yosef says that when he keeps this item till he finds the owner, he's considered to be a Shoy Mesocha. He's chayiv for pshia, gneva v'aveda, and he's potter for oines. But Rabba says no, he's like a shoy mechinom, he's chayiv for pshia, but he's potter for gneva v'aveda and oines. So the Machlokes says, is he chayiv for gneva v'aveda, is he potter for gneva v'aveda? So the Gemara is going to ask you questions, rayas for both sides. So the bracket simen ichzira lo'ilam oshev chia omeres nishbar socha is the shakavatari of the continuation of the Gemara of different sugyas, so we bring rayas or kashas, etc. Esebe Rabbi Yosef Rava asked Rabbi Yosef, who holds it like a shemesocha and yichayev gneva aveda to Rabba. It says, ichzira, someone found a lost item and he gave it back, lemokim shireno, he gave it back to the owner. He put it in a place where he could see it. Boy doesn't need to take care of it anymore. Got lost or stolen. He is responsible. My nignevoyovda. This I said got lost or stolen. Where they're from? Lav nignevomi beisoy. V'ovdami beisoy. When he didn't give it back yet, and it's still in his house, and it got stolen and lost. And it says that Yeshem Socha, it's from Aveda, so we can see a clear right. Rabbi Yosef. So the Gemara loy mimokoim shirich zero. It's talking about in the place where he returned it, and there he's chayiv gneva aveda. Ask the Gemara v'oktoni einu chayiv letapel. It says once you put it back, you're not chayiv to keep after it. So how does it make sense that suddenly now you chayiv gneva aveda? Amalei hochav me'askina, and here we're talking about gun shirich zero batzorayin. In the Sefer, in the second case of this place where it says that chayiv gneva aveda, it's in the afternoon. V'taratiktonia, and this Brisa is telling you two dinim. V'achiktonia, and this is how you read it. Ichzira shachris, if you gave it back in the morning, limokin shireno, v'shchiach da'al v'nofik v'chozilo. There's two categories that you need. You need also that he put it back in a place, limokin shireno, not in his back garden, some way he goes up to his house, he could see it. And he also normally goes there, like in the morning, because he comes home after davening or whatever and he sees it, or when he wakes up. Well, that's it, he did a shava. He gave it back in the afternoon. If he goes there, he could see it, but he doesn't come in the afternoon, he's at work. He won't see it. Then, because that's like pshia. So we don't have a raya for Rav Yosef. You have a kasha, in the end of this brisa, Tosis says it's a continuation of this brisa, it says that you always chayav b'achrirusa ad she'achzirenu l'rishusoi. And it's about v'gneva v'aveda, because the Bereshit says about gneva v'aveda, Tosis says. My lo'ilom, what does it mean always? Lav afilum mi beisoy or bebeisoi, isn't it even from his house that he's chayiv if he gets stolen? Shma minok Hashem mesocha dami, a clear right to Rabbi Yosef that Hashem aveda is Hashem mesocha. Omalei, Rabbi answered to him, here, this end of the brisa where he's lo'ilom chayiv and it's coming to Rabbi even from his house, I'm asking to you chayiv ha'gneva aveda, but it's talking about a livestock. And by live animals, since this was lost already, obviously it's a wandering sheep or wandering goat, and it was lost. So if you keep it only from pshia, it's not good enough. It's going to easily get lost again. So therefore you need to do better shemira than a normal item, and therefore you chayv for gneva v'aveda. But a normal item, you'll be potter for aveda. Omalei, let's see it inside. Moedinu l'cho, I agree to you with balechayim, livestock, they came and they knocked the nigru brisa, since they've lost already and they've wandered outside. Boy, so you need to extra keep it, it shouldn't get lost again. But normally, if it's something that's an item that doesn't move, like a computer or something like that, so therefore you only chayav for pshia and not for gneva v'aveda. Esivei Rabba Rabbi Yosef. Now we're turning over until now we had rayas to Rabbi Yosef. Now Rabba has a raya against Rabbi Yosef. It says in the pasuk, Oshev Eini Elo B'Beitho. Okay, very good. I could give it back to his house, like Yinosoi to his garden, or Chubrosoi to his ruins. Behind, I could also give it back there, and it's called Ashava. Talmud Loima Teshivim, it says another 2 Lashonos of giving it back. So it's coming to Merabah Mikol Mokar, anywhere. Why is this talking about his garden and his ruins? His garden and his ruins that are guarded over there. So what's the difference from his house? They put it in a place in his garden or in his ruins are non-guarded. And why is that good enough? There is only chayev for pshia. This is not called pshia, this is like Neva Aveda, because he put it back in his property. So we could see his potter for Neva Aveda, Kashan Rav Yosef. Or Malay, Rav Yosef told him, it's talking about they gave it back to a guarded garden, a guarded ruin. You had a question, why do you need a special chiddush of the Torah? It's the same like his house. This is a chiddush. They don't need to tell the owner of this Aveda that he gave it back. Like Rabbi Loza said, Rabbi Loza, a Ganev and a Gazlin and 4 Shomrim who are giving back a chayfetz need to let the owner know that they gave it back to them in the property, and if not, if something happened, they're chayev. Chutz, except the one exception, Ashavas Aveda. Why? Shari Ripsa by Torah, Ashavas Arba. Torah says, Ashev Teshivim. It's Merabah that any type of Ashava, even if the owner doesn't know. So Ginosoi Chubrosoi, the Chiddush is, even that the owner doesn't know because it doesn't hang out over there. But for sure, it's talking about somewhere where it's Mishtama, that it's guarded. So there's no Kashan Rabbi Yosef. Omole Abai Rabbi Yosef, Abai asked Rabbi Yosef, Atlo Tisber, the Shema Aveda Kashem Mechinam, and you don't hold that he's like a Shema Mechinam or Shema Aveda. Domi, Vaho, Omar Rabbi Barabba, Omar Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Barabba, and the Shem of Rabbi Yochanan says, Atoyin Tanas Gana Ba'aveda. So let's just say Akdoma, that someone who steals a chayfetz and he gets caught, he has to pay double, kefil. And if someone's showing a chayfetz and he says it got stolen, and then we find out that he stole it, he has to pay kefil. So here, Atoyin Tanas Gana Ba'aveda, and we find an item was lost. A person found it, and then when the person who lost it came to claim it, the guy said, oh, I had it, I found it, but it got lost, and I don't have to pay. Mishalin tashlumi kefel. He has to pay kefel. This shomer aveda needs to pay kefel. If you hold shomer aveda as a shomer socha is chayfik niva aveda, am I mishalin tashlufi kefel? Why did he pay kefel? Kan raboy shlumi, when he said it's lost or stolen, or when he said it's stolen, he straight away has to pay the shomer socha. So now we find that he stole it. Why the kefel? Kefel is only when he tried stealing the whole thing, but here you have to pay the keren. Omalei. Rav Yosef answered Abaye, and we are talking about Kigoin Shetoin Tanas Listi Mezuyim. He doesn't say a normal Gneva, a normal Ganev. He said it's a type of Ganev, it's a robber who came armed, and such a Ganev, such a robber is considered a oines. I couldn't have anything what to do. So even though I'm Chai for Gneva Aveda, for such a robber, I'm potter to pay. Listim Mezuyin Gazlin, who, if it's a Listim Mezuyin, he's a Gazlin, and if he's a Gazlin, he's not Ganev, there's no Tashlumi Kefel, even though that he stole it, because he tried pattering himself in a taina of oines, that's not Gneva. Now that we caught him that he did it, he's not Chayav Kefel. Kefel is only when he tainas it got stolen. And this is not stolen, got robbed. Omalei, Shani Oima, Rabbi Yosef tell the Baye, I hold Listim Mezuyin, an armed robber came on the mitmim, since he hides from people, Ganevu. He's considered a Ganev, and therefore he doesn't need to pay kefel if someone claims that it was a listim mezuyin and at the end of the day it was him. ACV, we're going to ask a kasha on this. You see the listim mezuyin is not Ganev, and you don't pay kefel, because the Gemara wanted to learn a din that by Shomer Socha. I want to say if already Shomer Chinom has to pay in such a case, so Shomer Socha for sure has to pay. And then the Brisa says, no, maybe Shomer Chinom has to pay because it's more chumradik than Shomer Socha. And what do the Brisa say? Why is Shomer Chinom more chumradik than Shomer Socha? Loi imomad b'Shomer Chinom. You know why Shomer Chinom is chumradik? Shekim mishalem tashlumi kefel. Because if he tiny does gneva, he's potter, and he makes a shvur, and then if we find that he stole, he has to pay kefel. Toima b'Shomer Socha. She'einu Mishalem Tashlumi Kefil, because if he says it's stolen, he has to pay immediately, and if he stole it, really doesn't pay Kefil. That's a brisa. V'isal kedai toch listim mezuyin ganev, who, if you want to tell me that listim mezuyin is in category of ganev, nimtza v'shoy mesocha, so why do we say that shoy mechino is more chumrudik because he pays Kefil? I have a case, the shoy mesocha also Mishalem Tashlumi Kefil. What's the case? B'toyin tanas, if a shoy mesocha tainas, listim mezuyin, it was an armed robber, and then we find out that he stole it, so you'll have to pay Kefil, so it's not more chumrudik, shoy mechino v'shoy mesocha. Omalei, he told him, ochikoma. This is pshat in the brisa. Lo yim amad b'shoy mechino, not if he said maybe shoy mechino was more chumrudik, shekei Mishalem Tashlumi Kefil b'kol ta'anoisav. Any type of gneva that he claims, he'll have to pay Kefil if he stole it. Toima b'shoy mesocha, masheim kein, shoy mesocha, she'eni Mishalem Tashlumi Kefil. If he says normal gneva, he doesn't have to pay Kefil, he has to pay. Ella b'toyin taras listim is doing only in one specific case of armed robbers, then he has to pay Kefil because he patted himself. But any other time of gneva, he's potter. So if he's potter, so maybe it's less chumradik shoy mesocha, and therefore we can't learn anything from shoy mechinom. So the brisa makes sense. ACB asked him another question. It says by shoyel v'nishbar meis, it got broken or died, he has to pay for ointzim. Ein leer shvur meis. I know a shoyel, someone who borrows something, has to pay for if it broke or died. Gneva v'aveda, if it got stolen or lost, that's more chumradik, meaning it's less of a oines. How do we know that you chayev? Minay. So the brisa, omres kal v'choyma, have a kal v'choyma, ma shoy mesocha. What if shoy mesocha? Shepota bo yishvur meisa, it's potter for insim, chayev b'gneva aveda, afilu ochi, it's chayev b'gneva aveda. Shoyel, shechayev b'shvur meisa, shoyel who's more chumradik, that's chayev b'insim. Ein adin shechayev b'gneva aveda, is it not so that it's for sure going to be chayev if it got stolen or lost? And the Brisa says kal v'choyma that you can't slug up, you can't ask any questions in this kal v'choyma. V'isal kedai toch listim mezuyin ganev, who, if you tell me that listim mezuyin is considered like a ganev, why don't I have a purcha to this kal v'choyma? I do ikele mifrach malashem mesocha shekei Mishalem Tashlumi Kefil between tanas listim mezuyin. I can tell you, shoy mesocha is more chumradik than a shoyel. Because shoy mesocha, if he tainas listim mezuyin, he'll be potter, he makes a shvur, and then we find that he stole it, he'll have to pay kefil. Mashen ken shoyel, even if he says listim mezuyin, he'll be chayav to pay. There's no kefil by shoyel. So why do we say it's kal v'choyma that you don't have tshuva or malei? Because sova itane karna below shvur adifa mikfele b'shvur. Meaning, this Tana holds that if a shoyel pays, not like the brisa before, he holds his choylek, he holds if a shoyel, when he says listim mezuyin or gneva v'aveda, he has to pay straight away. That's more chumradik than a case where you potter for gneva v'aveda or for listim mezuyin, but then you'll be chayav if you stole it. That's only a chumrah, but it comes from a kula, and this kula is much bigger than you potter for listim mezuyin. Masha'in ken shoyel is chayav for listim mezuyin. That's much more chumradik, so you can't slug up the kal v'choyma. So therefore, it fits in very good with Rav Yosef. Said the Gemara, let me bring a raya that listim mezuyin is like a ganev. A someone who rents a cow from his friend, v'nignevo, and it got stolen. V'omar Allah, and this soicha, the renter, says, Areini mishalem, I shall pay ve'eni nishba, and I'm not going to make a shvur, even though I could make a shvur and become potter. V'achar kach nimtza ganev, and then we found the ganev. We found him. So who did he pay the kefil to? So the brisa, Mishalem Tashlumi Kefil HaSoicha, he pays the kefil to the soicha, to the one who paid, because he could have patted himself with shua. He paid his koilin now the chefetz, and now the ganev pays to him the kefil. So v'ruos, another the machlokes, what's the din? Is a soicha, does he have a din shemichin? Like we have a shema aveda, do we have a machlokes shemichin or shemisocha? So also by soicha, by rent, we have the same, another similar machlokes. Is he like a shemichin or is he like a shemisocha? So Savura, they thought that this brisa is karabuda doma soichi k'noisha socha domi. That is like shemisocha and it's kai for gneva aveda. In the Miktoni, and since it says v'omareini mishalem ve'ini nishba, that he said I'm going to pay and I'm not making a shvur michlal, it sounds like the boy potter nafshei b'shvur, that he could patter himself. He said I'm not making a shvur, I'm paying. Mashma, he could say he could make a shvur and be potter. Echidomi, how is it talking about? Or we said soiches like shenesocha, that's chayfa gneva aveda. So how could he pat himself? Must be ki going to kotoin tanas listim zuyin. That he's saying that was listim zuyin, and that's why he's potter from paying, and because it's oines. Victoria, and it says v'achakach nimtza ganev, when he found the ganev meshalen tashlumi kefel asoicha. You do pay tashlumi sechel lasoicha, so we could see shmamino, this listim zuyin, who that's what he said it was, and we found this listim zuyin ganev, and he pays kefel. Amri, the Bnei Yeshiva said no. Misovras Karbuda, who said, do you think this bride says like Karbuda, the Oma Soichi Kenosha Sochodomi, that is Chai Figneva Vaveda, Dilma Karmes Virle, maybe this bride says like Armea, who holds the Oma Soichi Keshomichinam Domi, and therefore it's very simple. He said that it was Gneva Vaveda. He could have patted himself because Soicha is potter for Gneva Vaveda like Armea, and he made a Shvur, and sorry, he paid instead of making a Shvur. That's why he gets a Kefel, and it's a Tuma, a normal case of Ganev. Ibo is saying, man, if you want to have another way of explaining it, and you could fit it in also, if you prefer going this price as going to like Rav Yehuda, the machlef Rabbi Baravro, like Rabbi Baravro turns over the machloikes, V'toni, and he learns Soicha Ketzim Mishalem. How does the Soicha pay? Rameh Oime Keshem Mesocha. We change. Rameh holds like Shem Mesocha. Rabbi Yehuda Oime Keshem Mechinom, and therefore this price, before you want to fit in like Rabbi Yehuda, no problem. It's like Rabbi Yehuda who holds that Shem Mesocha Soicha is like Shem Mechinom, and therefore when he says Gneva Aveda, he could patter himself. And therefore, and now he's paying, so he's going to the chayfetz, and now we find the shomer, the ganev, he has to pay to the soicha. Rab Zera Omar Nuter, it's auch me'askinen between tanas listim zuyin. The soicha says it was a listim zuyin, and therefore it's oines and I'm potter and I can make a shvur, but I'm going to pay. V'nimtze listim she'enim zuyin, and then we found out after he paid that really was a listim she'enim zuyin. It was a normal ganev that's not an armed robber, and therefore he has to pay. That's why he has to pay kefil, because he's not armed robber. But enochenami, if he would be armed robber, he wouldn't have to pay kefil. So we don't have any raya that listim mezuyin has a din of a ganev. It said in the Mishnah, if your sheep fell into someone's garden, venenes and had no mishalemes mashanemenes, it pays what it had no for. It doesn't pay the damage. It's less. Omar Rav, says Rav Benichvito, it's talking about that the anor was that when he fell, he landed on cabbages and damaged them, and he saved himself. The anor is that it didn't break its legs because it had a soft landing. So the Gemara Aval Hochlo, if he ate afilu mashenenes mishalemes, if he ate after he fell in, he doesn't even have to pay. No, he doesn't have to pay the nezek. He didn't have to pay even the anor that I had. I saved myself from giving him food today. It's a bit schwer, a bit more lame. Rav Letamei, it must be that Rav, like what he holds. Doma Rav said when an animal ate something and he ate too much and he got damaged, so the person whose food was his potter, because he could say, I shouldn't have eaten the food. Now I ate the food and died from it. It's not my fault. So also here, the person whose animal fell in the garden, he ties this in. He fell in ba'oines, he fell in. And now that I ate afterwards, what could I have done? I shouldn't have eaten anything. I'm oines. So the Gemara Amri, the Beis HaMedrash said, Hochi Hashoso. This is how you put it. It's different. It's no connection. Eimodom Rav. When did Rav say Hosom? Over there, they say you shouldn't have eaten zaka. When it ate produce and it got damaged from eating the produce, the owner of the produce could say of the fruit, I'm not paying. It's her fault I ate. If you wouldn't eat, you wouldn't get damaged. When it damages by eating achrini, other people, the p'tura l'shlumi, that we're going to say will be potter to pay. Miyoma, did he say then avalei shloi toichal? Every time Shen will be potter, because we say avalei shloi toichal. Rav only said when he ate and got damage from the eating. But if the damage is the eating itself, you never say avalei shloi toichal. Doesn't make no sense. Elo said the Gemara loy mi boy komar nupshat in Rav. Rav didn't say that the Mishnah talking about only when it nechbeto. Loy mi boy komar. not only ochlo, if it ate after it fell down, the sham lemesh mashenenes, it pays how much it had no. But when it fell down and it got saved by these cabbages by having a soft landing, maybe we should say mavriach ari minichse chavero, who it's, if I come and there's a lion in someone's property and it's going to eat the animals and I shoo him away and he runs away, I can't get any money for that. So also here, this animal, my sheep was falling down, these cabbages saved them, so your cabbages saved my damage. It's like you saved my animals from a lion. So therefore, in such a case, you don't get paid. And therefore, you don't even have to pay ano kamash malon. So Chiddush is that even in nichbeto you have to pay. Why is it different? Why is it really different? Nechbeto from Mavriach Hari, like Mavriach Hari doesn't get paid, he also shouldn't get paid. So the Gemara, no. Mavriach Hari minichse chaverim midatoyu. It's his decision to go and shoo the lion away. Therefore, you did it. You can't force me to pay. Here, when the sheep was falling, it's not like he quickly put cabbages underneath. They should have a softer landing. It wasn't. It was up to him. He prefers him to fall on the floor and break his legs than to damage my cabbage. So therefore, you have to pay me for the damage. Mashenenes. Inami, another teretz, mavriach hari minich sechaver les lepseda. There's no loss. You went and shooed him away, you didn't lose anything. Hi, but in this case, my cabbages got damaged. I lost my cabbages, therefore you need to pay mashenenes.